If you're relatively new to rock climbing and aren't sure if you should start hangboarding, or if you're new and just looking to improve your rock climbing abilities but don't know where to begin, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to be going over why you should be hangboarding, when to start hangboarding as a beginner, and at the end I'm going to give you a protocol to follow that you can start adding to your climbing sessions. What's going on, everyone? If you're new here, my name is Mike, and on this channel we go over the specific details needed to improve as an athlete, and today we are talking all about hangboarding. Specifically, whether you should be hangboarding as a beginner. Spoiler, you should. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the pros of hangboarding, when you should begin hangboarding, basically like what qualifiers you should look for to know whether you should add this to your training or not, and then where to even begin. So let's go right into the pros of it. Obviously, it's going to help your grip strength. Yay! But what does that mean exactly? Having better grip strength in climbing is always going to help you, particularly as a beginner. Where it really can help you improve your climbing as a beginner is you have a bunch of limiting factors. Limiting factors are essentially what's holding you back from completing a climb. And you're way better off if your limiting factor is figuring out the beta or how to do a route. So if you have better grip strength, you're going to have more time on the wall to figure out what your next move should be. Because if you're trying to figure out how to do a climb and your grip is starting to slip and you're feeling tired, you're going to start to feel a little frantic, and that clock is just ticking away. And the faster that clock is ticking, the more you're going to rush, the more you're going to make a mistake. Maybe you're going to like try and go for something that you definitely shouldn't go, and you're going to injure yourself. Anything can happen there. And that's kind of what happens as you start to get a little freaked out. And just by having grip strength, you're going to be a lot more calm because you're going to feel comfortable on the wall because you can hold on better. So to reiterate, just having better grip strength is going to give you more time on the wall to figure out your next move. Plus, it's going to increase your overall endurance. So if right now you're only going to the gym for like half hour before your arms get totally pumped out, you can't hold on anymore, you can't even like begin climbs, training your grip strength using a hangboard is going to help your endurance so that you can climb longer, you can do longer sessions, complete more climbs, or at least attempt more climbs. You know, have a better time because you're spending more time doing what you want to do, which is climbing. Plus, it gives you something to do when you can't make it to a climbing gym. So if you live like up north where it snows, or if there's really bad weather, or if you're just like stuck at work, any sort of reason where you can't make it to a climbing gym, you can easily get a hangboard to put up at home, and you can just do hangboard exercises to continue to work your grip and improve as a climber from home. Okay, let's pretend you're sold. Let's pretend you're like, yeah, hangboarding sounds great. I would love to have better grip strength. I would love to last longer in the gym. Let's do this. Wait, I just started climbing like 3 months ago. Should I start doing this? I don't want to get injured. Well, you'll often hear people say that you shouldn't start hangboarding until you've been climbing for like a year or like 6 months, or some people say that you shouldn't start hangboarding until you can climb V3, V4. You hear like all different things, and I don't totally agree. Because like any other exercise, you can tailor it to what your level is at. So there's infinite number of progressions for any exercise, and hangboarding is no different. So you can make it easier if you need a little more assistance. You can make it harder if you're coming in with better grip strength from any sort of background sport. You can make it fit where you are at. As a general rule, I would say you should start including hangboarding when you decide that you want to get better at climbing. So if you're going to the climbing gym and you're just climbing with friends, you're having a good time, you're figuring out problems, you're chatting, and you're not, looking to eventually climb V7, V8s, and you're not, you don't really care whether you do well or don't do well in a day, like, you don't need a hangboard, you just continue to have fun. If you want to do an extra workout, like, sure, start including hangboard, but if you're just trying to have fun, like, honestly, spend more time on the rocks. Like, those are more fun anyway, right? But if there's a moment where you decide, I want to set a goal. I want to complete this one climb that I keep failing. I want to eventually climb V3. I want to do X, Y, or Z. Like, if you have something that you're like, I want to work towards this, I think that's a good opportunity to start including hangboarding into your routine. And again, you can do it in a safe way. You can do it so that you're not going to injure yourself immediately. All right, so now let's pretend that you're like, yeah, hangboarding sounds like the dopest. I want to do it. I think that I'm ready to do it. I have this one climb in mind that I really want to get. How do I begin? The best way to begin, in my mind, I would say start with a 5-minute routine. Basically, just do 5 sets of 10 seconds of hanging and 50 seconds of rest. If you have access to one, I would use a Beastmaker Hangboard. Obviously not sponsored by them. I have like 100 subscribers. It's not enough to get sponsored, turns out. But I would use that. It's just like the most versatile one. It's also a wooden one, so it kind of makes you work a little harder as opposed to the textured ones, which you can rely on the friction a little more. Depending on where you are at, I would say try starting off using the thickest ledge. If you end up falling off early or you find it too difficult to begin with, either leave your feet on the ground and just kind of like try and take some weight off, or just use the jugs on top and just start there. And what you can do is over time, you can make it more difficult by adding more sets and taking away more rest. So if you're finding that 5 sets of 10 seconds on, 50 seconds off is too easy for you, what you can do is you can just drop the rest time. Maybe you eventually want to do like 10 seconds on, 30 seconds off, or you can just increase the sets and do, 6 of them, 7 of them, whatever. What I would probably do, and this is actually what I do in my normal training, is I set a goal workout for me to complete at some point in the future, and I just slowly start making progress towards that. So an example might be, let's say you set a goal to do 8 sets of 10 seconds on, 40 seconds off. What I might start off with is you do 5 by 10 on, 50 off. Then maybe the next week you do 6 by 10 on, 50 off. Then maybe the next week you do 7 by 10 on, 50 off. Then maybe the next week you do 5 by 10 on, 40 off. Next week, 6 by 10 on, 40 off, et cetera, until you eventually make it to that goal workout. To start out, I would say just hangboard once a week. Do it at the end of a climbing session. You don't need to overcomplicate things. You also don't really need to do hangboard that frequently. Like, you definitely don't need to do it more than 3 times a week. And I would even say that 3 times per week is too many. I would stick to 1 or 2, but starting off, just do it once a week and do it at the end of a climbing session. And yeah, that is all I have for you this week. To reiterate, working on hangboard is going to improve your grip strength, which is going to improve you as a climber because it just gives you more time on the wall. You should start hangboarding whenever you feel like you want to start making progress in climbing, whenever you want to start taking it more seriously. And start with just a 5-minute session at the end of your climbing. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just do 10 seconds on, 50 seconds off. Use whatever holds make the most sense, and just slowly over time, 1% increases in difficulty, 2% increases in difficulty. These small changes really do add up over time. You don't need to like jump from 0 to 100. You don't need to jump from 0 to 50. You will see progress over time, and just give it time. You're gonna do great. And if you want a full 30-minute workout to do after a climbing session that includes pull-ups and other forearm exercises, check out this video right over here. Thanks, guys.